Making your own chenille fabric has never been easier than with the OLFA chenille cutter. The OLFA chenille cutter has two main components, the ratchet dial and the channel guides. The ratchet dial has two functions. Turn the dial clockwise to expose a new sharp blade edge. Turn the dial counterclockwise to choose which channel guide width you'd like to use. The channel guides determine how wide or narrow you need to sew the channels on your fabric, and therefore determine the final look of your chenille fabric. If you sew and cut a wider channel, you're going to have a more coarse texture to your finished project. If you sew and cut a narrow channel, you're going to have a finer, softer texture to your chenille. One of the unique things about the OLFA chenille cutter is that you have 4 channel guide widths all in one tool. The embossed letters small, medium, large, and extra large indicate the channel guide width. Small channel guide is approximately an 1/8 inch wide. The medium is a 1/4 inch wide, large 3/8 of an inch, and the extra large is a 1/2 an inch wide. Here are a couple of examples of how you can change the look of your chenille. Here I've sewn a narrow channel, and you can see how it's nice and soft and fine, and you can really see the pattern on the top layer of the fabric. Here I've sewn the channels wide. It's much more coarse texture, and you can really see the fabric that's in the background. These are just a couple of examples of how you can really vary the looks of your projects. To select a channel guide size, turn the ratchet dial counterclockwise or to the left or in the direction of the red arrow 2 clicks until you see the blade exposed in the arrow window of the guide you'd like to use. Please notice that the blade is only exposed in one channel guide at a time. Now I'd like to show you how to expose a new sharp blade edge. Each chenille blade has 24 sharp blade edges as indicated by the numbers on the ratchet dial. This allows you to get the maximum use out of every blade. To expose a new blade edge, turn the ratchet dial clockwise in the direction of the black arrow, 1 click to expose a new blade edge. Replace the blade when all edges have been used and the blade will no longer cut efficiently. Please remember to replace the blade only with the OLFA chenille cutter blade. Do not use any other blades with your OLFA chenille cutter. It's easy to change the blade on your chenille cutter. Slide the locked lever in the direction of the arrow to release the lock. Lift the top of the cutter off. Remove the old blade. Remember to dispose of that blade safely. Insert a new black chenille blade. Align the 2 notches at the top. Press the 2 halves together. Slide the lever into the locked position and you're ready to go. Now you're ready to make your own chenille fabric. First you need to choose your fabrics. Choose a fabric that would normally fray, such as cotton, silk, rayon, any natural fiber that's going to fray on its own. Knits are also fun to try if you'd like to have a different look. Layer 4 or more pieces of fabric. You can use all the same type of fabric or you can mix and match them as we've done here. Remember that the bottom layer should be larger all the way around than the top fabrics. Next you're going to draw a diagonal line through the center of the top layer of fabric using a chalk marker or a pencil. This needs to be on the bias. You're going to sew your channels on the bias and do your cutting on the bias for the best results. Next you're going to stitch the channels on your fabric using the diagonal line that you've drawn as a guide. You'll need to sew parallel lines across the entire surface of the fabric. Once your sewing is complete, choose the channel guide width on your chenille cutter that matches the width of your channels. Hold your chenille cutter vertically on the edge of your fabric. Slide the channel guide into the channel that you've sewn. Hold this bottom layer that you've left larger all the way around and glide the chenille cutter easily through your fabric. Look at that, no scissors needed. After you've slashed through all the channels on your fabric, simply wash it, dry it, brush it if you'd like, square it up, and you're ready to add texture and dimension to any number of terrific projects.